Hello and welcome to A Brief History. Today I want to share with you a brief and informative history of the United States fiat currency as it relates to the Federal Reserve Bank. The Federal Reserve Bank of the United States, FRB, is the central banking system of the United States and is responsible for the country's monetary and financial policy. The Federal Reserve System was created in 1913 with the passage of the Federal Reserve Act. This legislation established the Federal Reserve Board and the 12 regional Federal Reserve Banks. The Federal Reserve System was established with the purpose of providing a more stable monetary and financial system in the United States. Before the establishment of the Federal Reserve System, the United States financial system was based largely on the gold standard. This meant that the value of the US dollar was linked to the value of gold. The gold standard, which had been in place for much of the early 20th century, was an archaic system that tied the value of the currency to the amount of gold in possession by the government. This system was effective when the economy was in a stable state and the government was able to keep a large reserve of gold. However, as the economy evolved and the government faced increasing costs, the gold standard became increasingly difficult to maintain. The gold standard limited the government's ability to respond to the changing economic environment. The government could not expand the money supply when necessary to stimulate the economy, and it could not adjust interest rates to control inflation. This lack of flexibility hampered the country's ability to address economic downturns and hindered economic growth. In addition, the gold standard was expensive to maintain. The government had to continuously purchase gold to back up the currency, and consequently, the costs associated with this process were a burden on the budget. As the government faced increasing costs, it became more difficult to maintain the gold standard. Ultimately, the United States government decided to move away from the gold financial standard and adopted a new system based on the fiat. Fiat currency is a currency that is issued by a government and is not backed by a physical commodity such as gold or silver. Fiat currencies are generally accepted as legal tender and are regulated by a government body. Fiat currencies are the most widely used currencies in the world and are used for most everyday transactions. Fiat currency is popular because it is a reliable, widely accepted form of currency that is backed by a central government or bank. It is also easily exchanged, has relatively low transaction costs, and is relatively stable in terms of value. Additionally, it provides a convenient way for governments to manage their money supply and control inflation. The Federal Reserve Act created the Federal Reserve Board, which was responsible for setting national monetary policy. The board was made up of 7 members, including the Secretary of the Treasury, the Controller of the Currency, and 5 members appointed by the President of the United States. But what about this cryptocurrency thing? You may have recently heard about cryptocurrency and maybe how it works. You may be wondering if it is anything like fiat currency. Well, cryptocurrency is a digital or virtual currency that uses cryptography to secure and verify transactions. Cryptocurrencies are decentralized, meaning they are not controlled by any single institution or government and are not backed by any central bank or other government body. Cryptocurrencies are also highly volatile and can be used to purchase goods and services online, as well as being traded on online exchanges. In a sense, there is little difference between the modern fiat currencies and the popular cryptocurrencies today, though chain-based cryptocurrencies are not centrally regulated. Neither are backed by tangible assets that physically back the currency itself. The value is implied by the demand and acceptance of said currency. You may be wondering then, will the US government make a move to cryptocurrency as a replacement for the current fiat system? At this time, it is unlikely that the US government will move to a chain-based currency. The US government has not expressed any sustained interest in exploring this technology or its potential applications as of the date of this video. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to learn with me today. I hope you can use this knowledge to improve your understanding of the US financial system. Goodbye for now.